So today we have a continuation of sort of Respect the X Day that we did on Friday, where we had 11 teenagers sort of die, and we put an X on their shirt, and they weren't allowed to talk for the entire day. So today we're actually doing Distracted Driving Day, and we've got representatives from West Norton Police Department and MAD, which is Mothers Against Drunk Driving. They're coming here to talk to kids, and we've got a bunch of laptops around so kids can play online simulators and games about like trying to test how quickly they can text and test their abilities on that. And then outside we actually have a mock car crash and a story about a girl who was killed while she was drunk driving, and we've got a shrine out there to her.
So we came up with this story to educate the students and staff of the Norristown Area High School the dangers of distracted driving, not just texting but also drinking or doing anything that takes your attention away from actually driving. That could include eating, drinking, putting on makeup, anything that takes your attention away from the road.
So we really just want to make an impact and raise awareness about distracted driving.
So when we received this car, we actually made up a story to go along with the car to make the accident look as realistic as possible. So we chose Kelly because it is a common name, and this student actually does not attend here. No one actually perished as a result of the story that we are telling, but we wanted to make sure that the story was as realistic as possible so that it was as impactful as possible.
Well, this day was part of a service learning project that we set up for a gifted seminar. It's something that they came up with. We started with a video for the beginning of the year where I gave them examples, and they chose this as one of the things that they would choose to do for their service project. Gabby's actually working on this in independent study, and she's the one that created the video and made some of the phone calls, and Lori and Ben have been doing it as part of their gifted class. They're actually also presenting a budget, starting a fictitious business as part of this as well, that they're going to present to a panel in May.
The participants knew how serious of a deal this was, and they responded pretty well, and when asked not to talk to anyone or not to interact, they obliged, and I think they really helped in making this experience what it was for everyone that was participating.
Okay, so with your prom season coming up, one of the programs we have is called Power of Youth. So I'm here to talk a little bit about the Power of Youth program. We've also got some goggles that reflect what impaired vision would look like if you use alcohol. And obviously the legal age of drinking here in the United States is you have to be 21, which makes for a very short presentation from MAD. But this kind of helps portray the visual difficulties you would have if someone did drink alcohol. And to put that into kind of perspective, last year over 4,700 teenagers died due to underage drinking. Meanwhile, the under 21 law has actually saved at least 800 lives a year.
Okay, I'm on the line now, and I'm going to look up straight because that simulates it. So I'm not really sure, but I think I'm doing pretty well. And everything's just a little curvy, like this. But it's not that bad. I think I'd pass. I wouldn't pass.
How am I doing? Was I on that line? In the beginning?
We're on that one. I'm a little dizzy. Can't really see what's going on. My view is skewed.
I thought that I was going in a straight line, and I definitely was not. I think I was 2 feet off by the end. So,
well, certainly from the feedback I've had from the first group that have come through here this morning is very positive. Everybody enjoys the opportunity to use the goggles, and that really in itself helps to explain the difficulties of what alcohol could do to someone who tried drinking under the age of 21, which we do not recommend.
I just tried to drive and eat at the same time on a computer, and it was like really hard, and I crashed.
So this video that I made was actually for my first semester project, which was sort of like the prequel to this. I made a video that was specifically kind of slow and that would loop so kids could come and stop and watch it. So I started off with real life news stories about people who are in distracted driving accidents and some of the tragedies that occur. And then I actually interviewed our school resource officer, Officer Shepard, and asked him some questions about some of the laws in Pennsylvania against this and things like that. And I put in sort of my own sort of video journal about it, just about my experience making the video. And I gave them also at the end some resources, like MAD, and some statistics in the beginning too. So it was just sort of a mishmash of a bunch of stuff that sort of combines what we're doing here today.
Well, the importance is that 11 students every day die from being behind the wheel while distracted. 3,000 students a year die from the same thing. And with prom season coming up, Gabby, Ben, Lori, and my whole class, we're really hoping that this day would help put it in the minds of some of the juniors and seniors so that when you get behind the wheel to head off to prom this season, that you're a little bit more careful than you normally would be.
Well, people tried to talk to me after I was one of the students that had an X on them, and when I didn't answer, I think they really acknowledged the fact that I was dead, and I think it kind of stuck in their head, and they were pretty surprised when I wasn't answering and when I wouldn't even make eye contact with them.
Well, I think that it increases awareness of the seriousness of the issue. I think that a percentage of students will take it seriously and try to apply changing their behavior while they drive, and hopefully the other ones will eventually get on board as well.
It just gives you a little bit of point of view on what could happen if you drink and drive, or even just text and drive and being distracted while you drive, because it's a really scary thing to say that you're driving home and then you're not able to get home to your parents because you got into a car accident.
I just feel that this setup is a good way for people to understand that drinking and driving is not a good thing to do, and you could possibly injure yourself or someone else. But that's all I have to say about it.
I've always taken driving really seriously, so it didn't really change my mindset in any way. So, but it opened my eyes, I guess.
And we're hoping that some of the junior gifted students pick this up for next year as part of their service learning.
I think it's really important because everyone here has experienced being in the car with a friend or is driving themselves. And I think it's important to know how common these tragedies are and how often they occur. And I think it's important that kids know how easy it is to get in an accident like this. And I just want to make everybody aware. And that's what our mission sort of is to raise awareness.